the Sarlacc Digest, the long-running live-stream podcast digesting Star Wars topics for over 1,000 years. Join them for all the latest news, rumors, and theory crafting with none of the drama or the bullshit. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube. And don't forget the Sarlacc Toy Chest, covering all the newest Star Wars toy releases and news from Hasbro, Hot Toys, Jakks Pacific, and more. Live every other Monday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Be there and keep it nerdy.
PlasticNews.com. All the latest from Hollywood. Toys. Gaming. Comics. And anything pop culture. PlasticNews.com. Don't forget the IQ. PlasticNews.com.
He was the first person to say, we should put comic books in plastic cases and grade them. He told George Lucas to hold on to the merchandising rights, and 3 3/4 would be the perfect scale for the figures. When the owner of Playmates Toys asked him how to compete with the big guys, he gave him his extra copy of TMNT #1. He is the most important collector in the universe.
I don't always need a grail, but when I do, I go to holygrailtoys.com. Keep hunting, my friend.
You're watching a Syndicate program.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Toy Box Chronicles. I'm your lovely, gorgeous host, Chet Maddox, along with fabulous Fig Fury. Sexy Skelly has some prior arrangements. And of course, there is the ever-loving question of what happened at Toylanta? What's going on with Toylanta? There's so much stuff that we want to talk about. You may notice that there is someone here. So just for clarification, Toy Box Chronicles and Pixel Plastic Inc. and Skull and Bones and everything else, it's all part of a parent company called Vault 9. That is kind of the deal. They have deals with us somewhere at some point in time during the convention. At some point in time during the convention, there was a conversation with the heads of Vault 9 and Alexander Thunderous Storm, which is why he is no longer on this podcast. But that is not why you watch anyways. It doesn't matter. Alexander Thunderous Storm, it was a pleasure working with you. I wish you all of the best. Fig Fury, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing not too shabby, man.
Awesome.
I'm a big fan of Alex, but the show must go on, as you said. So
yeah,
let's get into it. How are you doing, Chet?
Man, I'm doing great, dude. I think there's a lot of clarity now. We know what's going on, and there's no reason for bullshit. Like we said, toxic is toxic, and we get rid of it. So but with that being said, before we bump into anything, let's roll the intro, and hopefully this will answer some questions for you.
CEO of Super 7 couldn't be reached for comment. Breaking news tonight. The most dangerous toy team on YouTube is splitting up. Like so many great duos, Martin and Lewis, Simon and Garfunkel, Shaq and Kobe, Chet Maddox and Alexander Storm have decided to part ways. Chet will remain with Toy Box Chronicles, while Alex has started a new YouTube podcast channel, The Red Shirt Away Mission, a Star Trek-focused channel where fans can truly live long and prosper. Here's a quick look.
Captain, I see something!
Really, Kick Rocks? Really, Commander Black, Kick Rocks? Really? Look, man, I didn't even want to be here tonight. Jackasses in Vault 9 really kind of pissed me off, but they explained to me that I had a 5-year contract still, so I guess I'm gonna be here. But if you want to see that trailer, make sure you guys go over to the Red Shirt Away Mission YouTube channel because it's up there right now. But I guess we're gonna run some stuff on tonight, but I guess I got to bring these the other jackasses back in. Let me bring in Chet Maddox and Fig Fury.
Yeah, no, I thought that because we had to run that trailer, this was like the Red Shirt show now. So
Yeah.
No.
as far as I'm concerned, it's like whatever.
We all wear red shirts. We don't matter.
You don't come back from Red Shirts. Mr. Storm Alexander, because we
Yes,
don't
sir.
want to get sued from your other company.
I know, like Steve. Seriously, brother. Like seriously, like wow, man, come on, bro.
Yeah.
24 hours, he changed my name and everything.
Look, as soon as we had to announce it from Vault 9, the truth comes out. Kick Rocks, Storm.
I know, I see that, man. Kick Rocks.
Super
Come
excited
on.
for Chet and Fig, the goats.
Wow.
Okay, Darth Butcher said, man, all those 199 super chats really worked. Kelly just got in. What's going on?
What's up?
Aloha, Sir Green Lantern.
Aloha.
Steve, that was my best con. Yeah, green shirts. We stay safe always.
I mean,
yeah. Look at that's the thing, right? Like it's fine. It's contractual. Like I said, there's a lot of confusion going around. For all honesty, clarification. We'll get into it tonight. There's a lot we got to talk about. Vault 9 is the parent company that runs Pixel Plastic Inc., Toy Box Chronicles, Skull and Bones. They run Toy Hunter partnerships, Holy Grail partnerships, plastic. They handle everything. So this is up to them, not us. So
well, I guess we'll do the damn show.
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Mr. Storm Alexander, how are you doing tonight, though?
Well, kind of pissed off that I'm here, but hey, I got to talk to my agent about that sometime next week, man. We'll have a good long conversation and everything. But you know what? Since I'm obligated to be here, we're gonna run through the chat.
Yeah. I got the chat coming up right now. We got Michelle and Little Beastie second, holding a spot for Commander Bly. My daughter says first 3 episodes of Daredevil season 2 left her feeling confused. I, gonna be honest, had no clue that was out already.
Yeah. We haven't.
Star Wars and Brews, good evening, excellent peeps. Gonna catch you on replay. Well, hey, guess what? Thank you. We appreciate the replay crew. You guys are the best. Happy April Fool's Clown 100%.
There you go.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, Collector Gadget. What's up, man? It was really awesome seeing you. Awesome seeing you at the convention, man. It was great. I really appreciate it. Enjoyed the conversations. How about that Motu trailer? It was probably the best trailer that's come out so far. We already talked about Moocher. Definitely was excited about the move with Alex going to the Red Shirt crew. Commander Bly is always first, just matter where in the chat he's first at. And then TD3 Trooper scored a Toylanta 26 figure from being in the Discord. Hit me up, grabbed it, working on shipping. Gonna send it to him. Hold that up again. Let's take a look at it.
Ooh.
Yeah, man, this is a great figure. In fact, I told you getting this figure was gonna make me take the other one out of the box. So I'm gonna be putting these together. Really good figure.
Great figure.
More to come on that, actually. Come to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll see everyone as you guys are coming in. We'll get to you. Mr. Meeks is back at it, so watch it if you're a lurker. Meeks tends to call you out by gifting subs, and then we see that you're lurking.
Also, before we break into tonight, one thing that we did do, and it was a part of seriousness out of all the April Fool's stuff that was going on. We do have monitors in the show, and you'll notice these guys have the little wrench right by them. And we had some comments on Monday's episode of the toy chest that were highly inappropriate. And we will 100% time you out. We're not going to ban you, but we will time you out. So if there's anything that's kind of like, pushing the boundaries, which is the fun and games fine, but there were some things that kind of went beyond what we normally do on the show, you will be timed out. So the mods know, they've been told. And so we don't want to do this, but it was highly inappropriate, a comment that was made on Monday's toy chest show. So we're hoping it doesn't happen. So, let's just have some fun.
Commander says, can I have Alex's Star Wars collection when he's gone? You can have it now for all I care.
But I'll pack it up.
And I will warn you guys that Commander Bly does not F around. It's very important that you pay attention.
The itchy band.
We mentioned this a couple of times. Comments get deleted. It's not necessarily we're deleting them. It depends on when you put them on there. They get deleted, things like that. We also are just being clear. We won't get through every single conversation or comment. We try to get up the comments that are relevant to what we're talking about. Mr. Storm Alexander, you can hang out. I'll go through these topics because I know you have no desire to be here. And that is Moocher says, do I get banned if I mention Star Trek? Because I heard that happens on Sarlacc Digest. You don't, and if you do, you're banning yourself, Moocher. That is, you are the one person that bans everybody on Star Trek. Fig Fury is going to test that out after this.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see.
So tonight, episode 114, April 1st, Wednesday, 7:14 p.m. We got some topics for you. We're going to go over the G.I. Joe Classified fan stream. We're obviously going to talk about Toylanta. That's going to take a majority of the time. There's a lot of questions. Hopefully, we can get through it. There's some shady practices happening with G.I. Joe Classified, some things like that. So we'll run into that. The Syndicate Network and Discord, that is always important. It is a free version of a hangout crew. You can get in there. If you've been in there for a while and you're not seeing what you want, always remember you can go up to channels and roles and select new things. We're adding new things all the time. We do have a main mod, Meeks, and then we have some other server support that try to remind everybody. But all the channels are blowing up. It's crazy. We do have some more upcoming events, and obviously after what we announced at Toylanta, this is going to start to become a full calendar, so hang tight on that. SKN exclusive convention t-shirt. We're going to go over Toy Hunter preview of Friday's Good Morning Toy Box and Pixel Plastic Inc. Tripping with Toys. Good evening to you, sir. How are you doing? And with that being said, something happened today. Do you know what that was, Mr. Storm Alexander?
Yeah. There was a cash grab by Hasbro. Oh, wait a minute. No, there was a Fed stream that happened this morning to Hasbro. Now, we were going to, stream it live, but let's just be honest. We streamed all weekend long.
I think the next one we will for sure do.
Yeah.
But also there was word that this wasn't going to be a long one anyways, so.
Plus, also the April 1st thing, I was kind of thinking, is that really going to happen? It's almost on a point like, are you sure this is going to happen? Because they did April Fool us on one aspect. What's going on, Hinton? They did April Fool us on the Target because last night, remember, Rad hit us up in a group text and he was like, oh, it's going to be Onslaught. And then they just did that Deadpool Wolverine. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So there was an April Fool's. But yeah, man, one thing I saw, and even in our Discord, a lot of guys did not like the camaraderie and the back and forth foolishness of the host. They didn't kind of dig that. A lot of people were complaining about that. That's the first time I've seen that on the Joe one. I've seen it on the Star Wars one a lot, but
Yeah.
never on the Joe one. But I think people were kind of tiring of that. They just want them to hit the show and just, put the
Well,
reveals out and get things done.
Yeah, look, I think, and Fig, you can interrupt me at any point in time
Okay.
on your thoughts on this, but my thoughts on this are pretty simple. You go from being a serious show, and then you're trying to get the feel of a live podcast, right? Something
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, we normally talk like this, and we normally do that, right? So like if you had like this crew here, Fig Fury, Skelly, Alex, myself, running the show, you wouldn't be upset about it because it's natural.
Okay.
The only issue that I had with it was it didn't seem natural, and it was like you could also see edits they made, which was also the problem.
Mhm.
So there was like a conversation, and then I forget between which one it was, and then it like cut and it made zero sense. So I just think that people are over it because that's just not their personalities, at least what we've been trained to believe is their personalities, if that makes sense. I don't know, Fig, what do you think?
So yeah, it's kind of like, you have a natural flow conversation, which it seems like they've done in the past, or at least they're a little more like straightforward, and that's what most people who watch the Joe streams are used to. This was like they had cards, like line cards going, ha ha, why'd the chicken cross the road? Like it was to me like very
That's fair.
yeah, that's how I felt from what I saw of it. So it just kind of was out of their norm. And like when something works, it's one thing to add things to it to make it better, but like
Yeah.
don't do a full 180.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I seen the same host before, and you're right. It seemed more, I think generated more than being authentic, and it somehow just, the flow of it was kind of off. And
Yeah.
I understand it's April Fools, but it didn't seem to work. It seemed a little unprofessional from that team for this time.
Yeah, and I think for me, I think it was all just kind of like smoke and mirrors, because they definitely had to fight around the fact that they announced this.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I had this in the original Real American Hero line, Destro, the Iron Grenadier version, and the Despoiler.
Yeah.
Great vehicle, but it was about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger than the Air Chariot of Serpentors.
Yeah.
And I will have to say this: our good friend, it's Chad, had a predestined scenario about this where he wrote and he said it's not that big of a vehicle, and he was adamant about this. And I said, yeah, it's not that big. Then I saw them reveal it. I was like, it's not that huge of a vehicle. Then I saw the price, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, you're charging about the same amount of a Stinger when it hit
Yeah.
the open market. And
Yeah, it's officially $10 more than the Stinger was.
yeah, and I'm like, what is going on here? And I understand new tooling for Destro. This is obviously an updated version, body, and but there's no wired cape. He does come with a little bit more accessory. They added. It's not like they just basically used the same over missiles. I'm sure that we'll find that on some other vehicle somewhere.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought, like, if it was right around the price of what Serpentor was, it's a good price. This price at this point, 109. Well, now it starts making me think, what happens when they bring Deep Six and the Shark? Well, how much is that going to be?
Yeah. Well, I think with this, they're kind of learning their lesson. It's not sold out on Hasbro Pulse, and it's
No.
not sold out on Amazon.
Yeah.
I am somebody that pre-ordered it. I have a weird obsession with Destro. I think it's an awesome character. I do like this. However, I can tell you that you did send over a notification to us earlier in the group chat that these are apparently already at port, so there's a high probability they're going to be shipping a lot sooner.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what I would say that this should have been probably like 95. I think people would have gone for it. I think 80. I think 89 people would have definitely gone.
I think
for
at 89, this would have been. It
Sold
would have been
out.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it should have been more than what they were going for the snake armor. And I think
True.
it right around that price, it would have been okay.
But I think it
thought
would have had to been, like-
109. It's a little too much.
I think it would have had to been a little bit more than Snake Armor because Snake Armor didn't come with a figure.
No, I can more than understand it, but I'm saying about when you get like the amount of plastic, the Snake Armor is a lot more plastic than this.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, sir? The spoiler should have
Yeah.
been $80. I will agree with him.
Yeah.
I
will
feel
agree with him.
I feel like this is two things for me. It's Hasbro's
Yeah.
done it with other lines like the Black Series or certain things. You're like, why is this like $25 more than something very similar? I feel like they think they can get away with it as part of it. And then the other aspect is this a sign of just everything right now? I feel like everything's getting an extra $10, $15
Yes.
slapped on it.
Mhm.
And I feel like this is a byproduct of that as well. It's like going forward, things are just going to increase. We talk about it all the time. It's tough because this is a highly desired figure for a lot of overall Joe collectors.
Yeah.
I mean, you've always heard about, we want Destro, Iron Grenadier.
Mhm.
Like, that's like the thing. I honestly feel like maybe their first run, they should have just released the figure and then done the vehicle like a Comic-Con exclusive type thing and then maybe charge that amount there. But at the end of the day, for where things are right now, I feel like if they would have kept it under $100, even at 100, I don't think as many people would be upset, but it's just like a very slap in the face compared to other products we've got just in the last 6 months from this line.
Give it the wonderfully said, man. And Commander Blythe says the suits and beans counters are testing what the market will bear. And then also CS Director just dropped a little bit of a bomb on Snake to Ross. Yeah. I'm now semi-Joe collector. Plus, I just found 2 Cobra Stingers yesterday.
Dude.
Ding, ding for the win.
That's awesome.
Look, I truly believe that this is going to be one that's going to sit for a while. TD3 Trooper, what's up? Mattel's eating Hasbro lunch. Yep, that's true. I think this is going to drop in price because I think it's going to sit around for a while. Because at 109, that rubbed a lot of people. I was in the Joe forums earlier today, and there's a lot of pissed off Joe collectors. Now, usually, let's be honest, there's a lot of pissed off Joe collectors anyways. But this kind of like this, there's no rhyme or reason for this one. And I think you hit it right on the head, Fig. Everything that we see now is going to have a major markup. And that has me extremely worried because that's when you start having lines fall off.
Well, yeah, and remember too, like we don't talk about it, but there is the one of the 2-packs that showed up that is $60. So we are hitting that mark already. This 2-pack landed, and this is $60. What are your thoughts on that?
Again, this one's kind of look. While the Marauders, everyone always kind of like loved them, the G.I. Joe the movie. I think they're a niche team, and these are the last 2. And I think, that's the best part about this. They are the last 2. But will this impact people from saying, you know what, maybe I shouldn't just pick up these 2? And I got a feeling, every 2-pack, every deluxe figure, every animal, it says Hasbro knows people will pay up, so they'll keep increasing the price like PlayStation and Nintendo. He's got a point there too.
Yeah,
but I think they'll pay up to a certain amount. And let's pull up this other comment from Dustin right here. And it goes, $60 for a 2-pack is crazy. 45 at the most. Here's the point. They're almost charging $27.99, so they're kind of went in that philosophy for that. So they're just dropping in a couple of bucks to 60. You're kind of thinking like, all right, just 2 figures at 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if they were a little bit more popular characters and niche characters, I think people wouldn't mind the $60. But for a couple of characters, I think this one's going to sit on Target and Walmart shelves. And you're going to be able to get this for right around about 45, because if you do like, Snake Eyes and Timber, those certain ones went to Ross, and then some dropped on the shelf. We just saw Law and Order drop down to like $27, $28.
Right.
So
ketchup and mustard dropped way down to like $28 too.
Yeah. So I think the deluxe figures are not going to hit that mark because especially not mainline characters that they put together. And then if you look at every Night Force double pack from Walmart, you see that at discount or clearance all the time as well. So I don't know if that theory tests well with these two characters. You might have wanted to test that with maybe two highly popular characters.
Great.
I can see if they did like a Sergeant Slaughter and Serpentor 2-pack or something.
Right.
Or maybe that you could have hit the 60 mark with. But we're gonna see. Like, again, some of these prices this morning, I thought they were hitting some milestones, and I think that's probably why they were as jovial as they were, was to try to distract from when the prices were coming out,
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's kind of like, hey, don't pay attention to us. Put your blinders on for the price. Look shiny new, buy it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying. It's like the distraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And TD3 Trooper says Sergeant Slaughter hit Ross and is still there. Yeah, the Slaughter Marauder one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also the first wave of the Sergeant Slaughters about a couple of years ago, that was hitting Ross and at Ollie's. So so it's just I don't know. It was kind of like interesting. I think the retro card back ones went over a little bit better for people.
Yeah.
I think people wanted the Wild Bill because a lot of people did not purchase or have the opportunity to purchase the Dragonfly, and that's such a limited thing. And we got to think at one point or another there's going to be a Tiger Force version of that somewhere coming down. And then the Techno Viper, we've seen this character several times. This is just 100% throw it in. And I need that Grunt. Bly, I will agree with you.
Yeah,
this is the version of Grunt I want. I love the retro card back original 13. And so I'm not mad at this character the same way I'm not mad at when they do Short Fuse or any of the other characters. So I love to see them in just their original 13 look. This is the only place and only time you're going to get that. The updates aren't bad though if you're into them. A lot of the characters they didn't kind of change them, but I personally like the retro cardback versions of these.
Sir Green Lantern said Hasbro has a habit of testing the waters. Ask Transformer collectors. Okay, with Destro price, the Mezco 112 is Destro is my stand-in.
I mean, that has a valid point right there. That Mezco Destro is actually, I think you can get them relatively cheaper than the MSRP. So, and that's
a damn good Destro too.
Yeah, that's like probably my opinion, the best 112th one out there. So that's a valid point. But granted, you don't get the vehicle, which I was gonna go back to that. That's a brand new vehicle, so there is that aspect. It's never been released yet. I don't know what they could reskin that with, but there is that aspect. So maybe that was part of the costing as well. Versus like the Stinger, you can get variations of that, or the I forgot what it's called, the little.
Talking about the Vamp.
Yeah, the Vamp. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
sure. Well, the Vamp is the Stinger, so they reused that and just added a couple of flip flops and different things to it. So I got what you're saying, but still, this is not that large of a vehicle. And so now again, what makes me worried about it, because I saw in our Discord guys were like, "Hey man, I can't wait to do Deep Six." Well, at this point, Deep Six is going to be like 140, with the Shark.
Right.
So wow, they're kind of jumping a little bit with the pricing here. And again, I like this. Yeah, I think at that price, if you're going to hit me at 109, then it needed to have like the Star Wars Black Series Lord Starkiller or Ronin. It needed to have wire net cape. You need to give me extra scenarios. It comes with a shield, a couple of guns, and a large sword, and a different head. That and a bunch of missiles. That's not worth 109. You've got to actually give it to me. I'll read this one. Going to Ross says, show me some miscalculations from toys companies. Oh, there's a lot, TD3 Trooper, from that. Also, pull up that Tripping with Toys one that was up a little higher. That one right there. Yeah, prices are definitely going to help me curb my spending this year. And that is the point of the conversation. That's definitely going to do that. Then I'll pull down CS Director. I remember joking that Hasbro would tax us on deluxe Transformers, and here we are. It's becoming reality. And yeah, but see, here's the thing. We were talking about this earlier, Chet, when we were talking about the what was the combiner that they came out. And we were talking about the pricing. I was like, well, that's still for 6 Transformers. that was still cheaper than Destro. So
That's yeah.
and that's a lot of articulation. That's a lot of other extra plastic, and you've got to make the pieces combine. Yeah, it's like Commander Black. Yeah, the shark will be at least 150. I think he's right on that one too.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like so the Predacon, like the Predacon. If you look at the Predacon, right, the Predacon is hitting at 219.
Yeah.
Now, if you just give a generous rounding of numbers per transformer, there are 7 transformers plus accessories.
Yeah.
If you just said all 7 of those landed at $40, right? That's $280, $260 something dollars maybe for all 7 of those. So at 219, you're getting all 7 of them that combined with accessories. That's not crazy. That's like, well, how cheap do you really want shit?
Yeah.
But the one thing Transformer collectors don't do is complain. So
yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
I think it's, you know, but
they
I
did
think
a Roboson of Unicron right now for like almost 40,000. Somebody would absolutely go ahead and
you'd be like, well, I mean,
buy
it's original, right? It's to combination, so yeah.
Bly brings up a good point in the chat there. Yeah, but they have to pay for the G.I. Joe licensing. Oh wait, because going back to Star Wars, like we always that comes into the factor a lot with Hasbro.
Yeah,
this is their own baby.
Here's my question to you. You see that speeder behind you?
Yeah.
How much do you pay for that?
The exact same price as this Destro.
And how big is it?
Oh, it's freaking massive, dude.
Yeah, did it come with a figure?
Yes, it did.
And you paid how much again?
110.
And that's including what? A license, right?
That's it. Valid point.
That's the problem is like you're charging the license price for something you own the license on.
Yeah.
And you have to really, like, honestly, you have to take into account what you've done in the past. If the footprint is the same size as that speeder, right, or the same size as like the X-wing or whatever that was, you could maybe justify it, but you have to remove 25% because that's a licensing fee. You're not paying 25%. What drops that Hasbro, and it drops it down to like $89 to $90 because there's no licensing fee. That's your now, unless we don't know something and they had to pay a license to use that version of Destro, but I'm not the Joe person that knows that.
Right.
Yeah, no, there's no license.
I didn't
they own it all.
Yeah, so again, you got something twice the size with a figure for the same price. That's a problem.
True. Wait, they're gonna factor. I was gonna say, could you factor in the time because that came out, I think, pre-COVID or like 2019.
Yeah,
2021. I think.
Yeah, the Snow Speeder for the Black Series. And maybe it was 2021. So I guess that even hurts the cause more because it was, in theory, that the gap would be even bigger. So I guess that doesn't really go a counterpoint. It's just the same thing. Like, what are we getting for the same value? And it's not there.
Yeah. Well, imagine them. Okay, all I'm going to say is this. They launched the Stinger and this at the same time.
Yeah. Gee, let me think. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you couldn't put that next to it with the same price.
No,
it's
there's
not.
No way.
It's not gonna happen. We did get a render reveal of Scarlet, and she bangs. Plump, plump.
But this is going to the deep part of when the line was basically on its last legs when you start getting to Ninja Force, and then Space Force, a couple other ones. Yeah, Snow Speeders are leagues better. Yep, he's got a point about that. But yeah, so they're going heavily this year. I'm a little worried about the Ninja Force so early at this point because he did Zartan, and now they're rolling with this, and then they've got also the other 2 ninjas that they did earlier in the year. And
Slice and dice.
I'm a little worried about that. They're burning through a part of fandom, and there's still a lot of characters that they've got to get to that are from the original line. So I don't know if it's personal preference by the team and they fall into that level, but I'm a little worried about the Ninja Force popping up so early.
Yeah, so this is kind of the part in the show where I think a lot of people had problems, right?
Yeah, I think so.
When they
Mhm.
were announcing this, like, oh, we're gonna do the final reveal because we already revealed, one of them, and the comment was made like, I enjoy seeing like when people are like, I know what it is, and then we release it, and it's like, haha, you're wrong. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like the right thing to say. But I'm not their dad. I'm not trying to police them. I just know your audience. I think that, half of the fun of not knowing, and
Mhm.
and to, if you're a tryhard that likes to make comments like, I knew because I know a guy, it's like, I don't believe in trust me bro sources. So
Mhm.
like, there's no way to validate that you knew after something comes out. That's just trash. Like, you're just a trust me bro. That's not a thing. And also, what's the point in saying that you knew or And it's like, the thing is that, like, when it's fandom and people have the ability to guess like what's coming out,
Yeah.
as the manufacturer, you don't need to say, I like when we prove everyone wrong. That's
Yeah.
not it's not fun. It's like, the right way to say that is like, well, we knew it was this, but there were some really creative ideas that we didn't
Right.
think of.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
again, just they've got to work with the delivery a little. It's a good thing she doesn't have any chain models. Wow. There you go.
Next
And
person.
Ninja Force, absolutely. Yep. Next.
Please.
Thank you, sir. And yeah, and knowing is half the battle.
For sure.
For sure.
It
He's
is.
got a point. Well, like I said again, this is the part of it where they're kind of, like I said, they're diving in a little deep into that line. I still think they've got a lot of great characters that they have not done that were in the earlier days of that. And absolutely, Rad, he's got that right. I love when he comes in and just tells people what to do. Hit that sub button, chat.
Do
Hit
it.
that sub button.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
it.
a great time. We want to acknowledge everyone that is a Shadow Elite member. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much to the Shadow Elite, the Syndicate, the Prospects. Also, great hanging out with some of you at Toylanta.
Absolutely.
It was fantastic to be there. Fantastic to see you. You got to see the reveal live,
Mhm.
and it was an awesome time. So yeah, hit that sub button. Thumbs up, costs you nothing. It's free. Don't worry about it. We'll pay it for it next time.
So we're rolling. They did have some actual other revealed the toxic viper. They've got that, another iron grenadier, so they're moving into that a little bit more. I knew they would. Mistress Amata has popped up, and then Psych Out, which is a character I hadn't seen, and then a rugged Duke, but they did promise it is not the red, white, and blue version, but we do know that's probably going to be another Kid Bash on Duke.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
look, they are diving in deep with the Iron Grenadiers.
I like
So,
it.
that's kind of cool. And yeah, that's another sub line, and that's probably another part of your shelf you're going to do. The Toxo Viper, that's the end of the line kind of Viper. But Psych Out, that was a character. And also remember, Larry Hama is making brand new characters as well. So, they're still coming up to hitting the where is Mr. Zamata from? The IDW version? Yes, sir. You're absolutely correct. I agree to there. ID version. I do love that they are using the collecting cards.
Me too.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that in some years. Good point.
Yeah,
Dark Moocher.
they also stated too with these reveals on the images,
Mhm.
they said, do not read into these images. They have nothing to do other than we're just showing you who we're releasing. Which I thought was good, because now if you see like tryhards trying to like
Mhm.
Yeah.
come up some kind of stupid theory crafting, we could just ignore it.
Absolutely. So, look, price for a pocketbooks. I'm thinking that was a very like a C minus. I didn't think, but I thought character reveals. I thought they were on a B. They were all characters that people want to see, other than I think the Night Force one, so they get a B for that. Overall, with the live stream, I think they got some work to do. I'm gonna give them a solid C on it, and I think they could, maybe stick to the script, maybe just knock out some things. I think that would be a little bit better.
Yeah. Look, I agree with you. You know me, I'm like recramming all my Joe knowledge. I like that they went this deep. I think this is cool. But Fanstream, I've seen better. They've done better fan streams for sure. I don't like the pre-recorded ones. Now I know maybe all of them are pre-recorded. I'm not
I
sure.
think so. Yeah. Mhm.
but this one was definitely a rough cut and maybe not the best. But yeah.
Okay. And
I was gonna add to it real quick. It's
Go ahead.
just I feel like a quicker just like a bullet point over what's going to be released for a lot of these streams for most of us would do wonders.
Yeah.
And if it's like a big HasLab or something, then do like a bigger reveal stream with multiple people from Hasbro or on the team on it. I just think at this point we have so many YouTubers, like other people covering these guys' products. It's kind of like I tend to like us covering it or other people I watch going over it. So like a bulletin point type, like 5-minute. Here's what's coming out, guys. This is Hasbro. Thanks for joining. Here's the reveals. Have a good day. Like I think of that format and only doing like 1 or 2 big streams a year would just improve the community expectations and the overall enjoyment of them. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I think you're absolutely right on that. Then said there are 2 comic book stories about Joe's Skybound's Energon and Larry Hama's grounded version. Larry Hama's doing the Real American Hero that's been out since the 1980s from the Marvel line. So he's just continuing that. The Skybound was something that's less than, well, I think it's about 2 years old now, that Robert Kirkman and the people from Skybound totally created, if that helps you, Hidden. Also, I saw, I'm not going to pull the comment up. It wasn't you, Michelle. So, like I said, just to let you know. And also, I think Commander Bly let you know, too. It was a completely different thing. So, Toylanta. We were out in Toylanta. You saw us on Toylanta. You know why? Because we worked, we streamed, and we did. So a couple of key things that happened. First of all, thank you, Brett Barton, and the fine people there. Chris, we love you, man. And, one thing we always say is that, can I have a small uptick? If you hear that at a restaurant, that means you still have to pay for 2 entrees. Just to let you know, you still got to pay for 2 entrees. I will say that everything about Toylanta, if you're on the fence and you say, should I attend at WonderCon or should I attend at Joelana? You can see the coverage all weekend long. You can look at any YouTuber out there that went to WonderCon, and then you see the amount of excitement from people that went to Toylanta. Night and day difference. If you have the opportunity, I tell you, go out to Toylanta. It's a fun show. Got great exclusives. Big Bad Toy Store or workshop there. A lot of people are like, oh, they didn't have a lot of supplies. I can't tell you how many boxes of supplies they had. It's almost stacked up higher than the table. I got my shirt and a fig. I'm beyond happy. Thank you, TD3 Trooper. Also, let's see, let's pull this up. I'm trying to think. Gridiron had 3 versions of their. It's at 113th with different configurations at WonderCon and looked premium huge. They did the same thing at Toylanta. They had the same vehicle, same setup. And I will say one absolute thing that was great was Marauder Gunrunners. We got some stuff. Let's knock through some stuff. But there was a couple of jokers that stole the convention, and how we know it's because everybody on the face of the planet said they stole that convention. And yes, that's right. The guys of Vault 9. We revealed Skull and Bones, Legends of the Seven Seas. We were there last year in 2025, and we did a panel, and we had actually just a teaser trailer. But this year, well, we pulled in, went to port with something huge, and it was the Eternal Abyss playset. And that's only 1/4 of this ship. So just to know, the entire ship itself is about 9 feet. You wanted play sets, you asked for play sets. Oh, we gave you one. And of course, as you can see, there's a bunch of the characters from Skull and Bones, several of the captains, and Crimson Mist that was there. And again, this is one of those things where I was shocked. And when I truly say that you had to see it for yourself, you really did, because the pictures are great. And thank you, WS. But it was nothing like seeing in person. It actually blew my mind, and we were working on this. And
Commander Bly, I can't tell you how many people were saying the same thing.
Yeah,
it was like, oh my god, this is great. I think everyone kind of freaked out. Like, we announced this ship, so just as like some clarity, this is what we've been working on for the past 365. We announced a trailer. We stayed quiet. people saw this at Toylanta. This is like Alex said, this is 1/4 of what's actually going to be made. Every quarter will be sold at a different time. This one runs about I think it's like 5.5 feet long, maybe somewhere around there, like about 4.5 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 33 inches high and 34 inches wide. So, so it is big. But yeah, so this was one that, we're keeping it simple. You can follow Legends of the Seven Seas on Instagram. That's where we're releasing everything we know. There is a website. The only thing that's on the website is a place to put your email for the newsletter. But we wanted to keep it super serious. Legends of the 6-7 Seas is the fighting factions. Rar Yarga. It was our first time at Toylanta, and I'm so happy we went.
Cool.
Everyone was fantastic. Met Alexander and Chet. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
It was great seeing you. And then heads up, Gum Up Makers is actually going to be doing a Kickstarter. So look forward to having them on one of the. We wanted to bring them on to Toy Box Chronicles to talk about their Kickstarter. So we are going to be connecting with them and organizing that. So B-Sum said, I walk in the con and these jokers drop this ship on me immediately.
Nice.
Yeah. Huge shout out to B-Sum, man.
Absolutely, B-Sum.
B-Sum was the guy, was my VP pick for the convention.
Yeah.
Down to earth, dude. This is why I love the Syndicate Discord. Just down to earth, willing to do whatever he could. I'm glad we were there because we were able to like hold all of his stuff because he kept trying to buy the entire convention.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was rocking the shirt, talking about Toy Hunter, talking about everything else. So what you're looking at here is everyone standing on the deck. Obviously, these are not final products. In the front foremost, you have Garrick, who is the captain of the Eternal Abyss. So this is his ship. Behind him to the right, the red character is Crimson Mist, which is part of the Crimson Curse, which is a red mist that goes around and basically envelops and kills everybody and every ship that it touches. So there's some lore behind him and Garrick. And then behind him, you have Stormbringer, who's one of my absolute favorite pirate captains. And then to the left in the very back is Goldfang. He is awesome as well. So
cool.
On this ship, this is going to be released. We're still talking to a couple companies that want to produce it. There's the Kickstarter route. We're figuring all of that stuff out. We do have plans, again, that'll all be announced on our Instagram page, but you're also going to be getting a lot more from us. There is a lot behind this line. We want you to be involved in the lore. We want you to be involved in everything. Alexander, Thunderous Storm, and Dr. Brentley have done a wonderful job writing the lore. If you don't know, they are writers in Hollywood, have done tons of scripts, comics, along with Rad, and I've messed around. But the lore is great. We think it's important. This ship tells a story, and that's what we're gonna be releasing first. We do have 7 of these ships, so just as a heads up. This Jim Humphreys 5883 says the ship was absolutely the best in show. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you so much. I'm working on some stuff to go to these meetups. We have one in Oregon soon. It'll be my test.
Okay.
Hey, man, look at Oregon. Oregon is not that far from us. We're in Southern California, so I'm all in on that. So
all right. Well, like I said again, enough of us patting on the back and everything. Great weekend. Appreciate everybody there. Let's go to the other people at the convention. Let's knock it out and everything. We had, if you didn't watch the show, then you can actually go back and watch the replay. We had the actor David Faustino, Bud Bundy, and also a documentarian and a producer as well. That was at the show. He has a new vinyl figure that he was when it was Grandmaster B. If you remember, Married with Children, that was his another identity that he did on the show. I can't tell you what kind of individual and how great he was, other than you watch the interview and he's just that in person. no ego, no anything else. It was a pleasure sitting down and talking to him.
Absolutely phenomenal guy. Yeah.
That's
Our
so
Odd
cool.
Frog guys actually knocked out some things, and there's Malcolm. If you're into Image Comics and they got a milestone, if you look over it, so SoCal and A-Town was a way to represent. Thank you, sir. Thank you. If you looked at, over at Todd McFarlane, he has actually the original Savage Dragon, but this is Savage Dragon's son, Malcolm. And the guys over at Odd Frog and Varner Studios had the license. They produced that, along with, if you looked at the Bull's Air version of Chuck E. Cheese, that was designed by the Odd Frog guys. So they're doing a lot of work out there. And it's also, you got a shout out to Eddie, who did the sculpting on these Skull and Bones characters. So, those guys are in high demand. When you do good work, people want to use you all the time. So that's the best part about it. They do wonderful work. We're going to jump it out right here. We had our friends, Chris Scott from Grindhouse Toys, and he didn't show up empty-handed. He had a bunch of stuff this year, but he had a beautiful display that just begs to show again. And I thought this was such a creative thing, right, Chet?
This was awesome. What I love about this is that he is evolving his booth. He's making subtle changes so it evolves from what you're used to seeing to something new. I had a really great conversation with him about plans he has. It was phenomenal. Chris is a very stand-up dude, lots of fun. Seeing the figures he had there, man, that was phenomenal, man. And if you guys can't see, so on this table here on the left, these are so the long box on the left is actually all of the figures, and if you turn them around, you get one giant photo, and it comes with that cassette. So it's like buying a VHS box set. And then the one on the right is all the figures turned the other way, so you can see what figures what. Alex, I don't know about you, but I loved the pamphlets he was handing out because it reminded me of Toys R Us.
Absolutely, he does. He's a very creative individual. I haven't seen the 3 times that he popped on the Toy Box Chronicles. We did a special Sunday episode with him as well. Definitely check out Grindhouse Toys. He is an independent toy maker, and he's one of the guys that we spotlight because we want more independent toys with that same form of imagination that pops out. From there, Mega J Retro, love the guy. He's one of our friends, and he had El Dragoon along with Danny Green. If you guys don't know, they put on a couple of great conventions, one up in Canada, but there's one that's popping up here in Southern California in the next couple of months, Mo2 Universe. And you want to check out there, but El Dragoon, he's dropping the characters and the comic book real soon. Our friends over at Yes Have Some Toy Anxiety, they had Cryptoids, which is blowing up on a Kickstarter right now, and it's funding like no tomorrow, basically, and it's a good thing too because it's a very fun toy line. We appreciate anybody in the space that's making their own toys, go out with their own dreams. We want to spotlight that a little bit for that. Then you can look over here. Couple of great things. You had Skeletron. Skeletron is doing their things. And yes, Commander Bly, there's tons of great picks in the Toylanta channel and the Syndicate Discord. Absolutely. If you want to see more, there's more. Operation Monster Force, believe me, they were on both coasts. You can catch them on WonderCon, and then you can catch them at Toylanta. And look at the supplies of stuff. There was no shortage of figures and characters. In fact, if you bring the camera back and everything else like that, and I got to thank our buddy Rad, ended up picking this up for me, the slick guy. This kind of guy is. But BP Bulletproof from the actual Cops line, and that will go with, I actually have the original cardback version of that character that's mint. So, update past and present. Great job did he do over at Operation Monster Force / Big Bad Toy Store / Big Bad Workshop. Love that stuff. From there, 4 Horsemen. Everybody was, the Kickstarter before Cryptoids was actually the 4 Horsemen in their role-playing game. They had those characters there. And I want to give a big shout out to the Savage Crucible guys. They had a lot of stuff, but actually, too, they walked over to us and were very kind with their admiration of us building the ship and everything. And I thought that was one of the classiest things I had seen from, any kind of toy manufacturing. You don't have to, fight with one another. You can just basically, if somebody does a good job, you just say, hey man, great job, keep up the good work. Their wins are your wins and vice versa, right, Chet?
Yeah, man. Look, that's the one thing that we talked about when we were talking about the ship. Everyone was like, oh, this would be great, this would be awesome. And Savage Crucible came by, and like this, the conversations were, yo, man, like we know there's other lines out there. We know everything's going over there. We had people coming by being like, finally have a place to put my dragon I'm getting from Mythic Legion. So, it's like that's what is happening on the indie circuit as far as like building rapport, building relationships. Like I got the Savage Crucible exclusive. Big Bad Toy Store had a smaller presence at WonderCon, but they did have an exclusive soldier. Yeah. So look, they did what they could, and I think that a lot of like the upset from WonderCon was just WonderCon itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, Savage Crucible guys, stand-up dudes, talked to us on the elevator, talked to us at the convention, came by, saw everything. Mythic Legion guys came by, checked out the ship, liked it. So yeah, man, it was great.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said again, we love Toylanta. Savage folks are always cool people. So yep, absolutely, we'll give you that.
Good to know.
Here we go. We move with since Scully's not here, I guess I'll be the living embodiment of Scully. Got some Scully's got links, and he did. He was the one that threw up the links in their Discord. If you're not on the Syndicate Discord, make sure you're over there, because you get things like Scully throwing up the Target link, and if you're at work or something, you just click into it and go. And then the same thing happened this morning. Amazon, as well as I do, they're always the hardest links to find out. But Scully made sure that if you wanted to get Destro and Iron Grenadier, the spoiler, you had the Amazon link. So that's why you should join the Discord. And time for photo of the week. Take it out this week, Mr. Fig Fury.
I mean, it's just a popular evening for Skelly. Yeah, this photo, it was awesome. I mean, just great lighting. Tyrannid even has the effect coming out of his mouth. Setup is great. So yeah, I had to shout out my brother in photography, Skelly. Always does an amazing job. Check out all his work on IG, the Syndicate Discord, the toy photography section. Be there or don't, but you should be.
Absolutely too. And also a photographer out there that I saw that actually walked up to us. And again, we met so many great people. Professor Zoom, you should be on the Discord and bring up some of those photos. Professor Zoom, pleasure meeting you as well. So,
dude, it was such an awesome meeting him the way we did. He like walked up and said, "What's up, guys?" And he's like, "Professor Zoom." We're like, "No shit." Like, and then he also got that Commander Cobra throne, and I forgot to buy that.
Yeah. Don't worry though. We'll probably see something like that at SoCal Joe Show. So it's still popping up. Still room to get that and everything. Yeah, base pick. Yep, absolutely. From there, we'll take this down and we'll throw this up. We got it. Join the Syndicate Discord. The movement has begun. No gatekeeping, no algorithms, just fandom. Join the Syndicate. Bring your hot takes. Only on Discord. That's right. Make sure you guys are popping over there. We had some new members sign up over the weekend, but it's, it's never enough. We want more fandom, more stuff to talk about. You can catch all of us right here. The Syndicate is the home of actual SKN, Shadow News Network, the Starlight Digest podcast, and Blitz Transmission. So there's a lot of cross-talking there. So make sure you guys are popping in there. You want to continue the conversation, do that over at the Discord. There's a QR code on the screen right there. Had a lot of people, again, sign up over the weekend. So we thank them, but there's never enough. We need more members. We want to grow it. Fast growing Discord out there. From there, we got some events popping up and everything. You've seen that we basically updated our stuff. So guess what? On May 3rd, SoCal Joe Show here, we will be doing a live remote like we did at Toylanta. We will be doing that from actually Temecula at the SoCal Joe show. It's a great show to be there. If you're into G.I. Joe 3 3/4, 12-inch, some customizations, it's all there. Make sure you're hitting over there. Our friend Mega J Retro is putting on Mo2 Universe here in also Southern California on May 23rd and 24th. If you go online, there are still tickets available if you're going to be there. Making a crappy day to Syndicate Discord is such a chill escape. Thank you so much. But Mo2 Universe, and you just saw the other day that the I Have the Power of the He-Man trailer. Masters of the Universe dropped. A lot of excitement for He-Man, and our friend Mega J and all the Val Staples and all those great individuals over there are putting on a show. And we got little surprises too. So it's something else, but we will be in the house walking around and talking. And actually, I'm pretty sure Mega J will put us to work somewhere too. And then from there,
I'm fine with.
yeah, then from there, the DFW GI Joe and Action Force show that's taking place in Dallas Fort Worth on the 29th. And so you got 1 week Motu, next week back to Joe. And that's a great show. Our buddy It's Chad's going to be there. He's got a swap meet that's going on that weekend. And we saw that at Toylanta. That was very popular, the room swaps and everything. That's starting to become a little bit more. So I'm glad that that's starting to happen. But those are where you can catch us. We're still on the fence about DFW, but that might happen actually. So, but with most definitely Multi Universe and SoCal Joe show. So we'll see what's going on from there. Then guess what? Friday. If you think the week is over, no. It's really kind of just begun. We're just a midpoint into that. Good morning, Toy Box. Yes, right. Last week, you guys got to see a pre-recorded episode because myself and Chet were sitting on a plane and it was very crowded and we knew we could not live stream in the air. So we actually pre-recorded. We thank everybody for watching the pre-recorded episode. But we're back. We're back and everything. Back live this Friday for all your week in review action figures. That's right. And Friday night, all of your this week's toy and pop culture news, Friday night live stream, Pixel, Plastic, and Ink at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Rad, Dr. Brentley, myself, and Chet Maddox. No Darth Moocher this week, but didn't he do such a great job as the host on Friday? Fantastic work. Darth Moocher, you got an open slot anytime you want to host. We thank you for doing that. It was very fun. Scully was there too, rocking Friday, man. It was very good, man. It was kind of nice to be the passenger watching the show and just popping in. But a lot of great things, man. Great weekend, great things to come. Can't wait to see what's going on, man. But again, thank everyone that popped up at the convention, walked up to us, said hi. Hey, I'm a channel member. I enjoy watching you guys. Thank you guys. You know, it's never about us. It's always about you. We do this to entertain you. We appreciate the time that you guys do watch us because you could do anything else, but you're actually watching us. So we respect that. And we want to meet all of our channel members or anyone else that just watches. It was such a great weekend. It felt like there were people that I'd known in the chat that seemed like we always knew them, right, Chet?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. And then everyone just kind of just started showing up. And then look, it's always awesome to put a face to names that just pop up in chat on YouTube and everywhere else. So you know, the more we can get to do that, the better it is, I think, just in general. And then also, not to mention too, it helps when you're trying to organize things. We've had people talk about it before, like organizing meetups. Like that's important. Like you get names to faces. Like so, it's just awesome. It was great. I enjoy talking to everyone. You know, and to be honest, part of the reason why we couldn't stream the last day was because we were connecting with everybody that we had met into, and like I think, you know, that's a little bit more important, is that connection. And we gave everyone as much as we could Friday. Just for clarity, we all landed there Friday. We landed at 2. We got to the hotel / convention at 4:15.
Yeah.
By 4:30, everyone was like, "Where are you guys at?" It was like Rad, myself, and Alexander Thunderstorm, and we were just like, "Man, we just got to our hotel room. It's like a 2-3 minute walk. Give us a second." And it was like 4:30. Where are you guys at? What are you doing? 4:35. Where you guys? We just like, we are coming down. So by when you guys saw us go live, we had just finished setting everything. It was wild, man. It was fun. But yeah, look, that's half of it, right? Like, super blessed to be able to do what we do, and glad that we have people that enjoy what we enjoy, and glad that we get to make connections with people. There was a very very, very cool conversation that happened about the ship that was very unexpected. That is going to be for another show, and I don't really know if I want to share that, but it was something that I shared with the group that basically, like, made it worth doing what we do. And it was
Nice.
someone that came back into the convention to basically have that conversation.
Yep.
So super, super passionate, super awesome. Can't ask for a better group of people that hang out with us every Wednesday and Friday. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
I
And
concur.
I've only got one thing to say to you. If you love that opening trailer, it's up on the Red Shirt Away Mission YouTube channel. That is a real YouTube channel. Go over there and check it out. And that's
Wild.
all I got, man. But live long and prosper. Red shirts till the end.
Bruh.
Fig Fury, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Just stay awesome, everybody, and make sure to like, subscribe, use Toy Hunter, join the Discord, Syndicate Discord, watch Toy Box Chronicles, watch Pixel Plastic Friday. Do it, both shows on Friday. Don't mess around. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
And with that being said, I am Chet Maddox, your lovely, gorgeous host, along with Fabulous Fig Fury, Alexander Thunderous Storm, and Sexy Skelly. We see you. You're here in spirit. Let's be real about that. As always, keep chasing that plastic dragon. You're about ready to be beamed over to the Starlight Digest. Enjoy the time. Enjoy the show. Get crazy in the comments. Like, subscribe, follow, become a member. All the crazy stuff. Commander Bly, everyone else. We will see you soon. And again, we're gonna.